What's up, Zox fam? We are back finally, man. And I gotta say, first and foremost, I appreciate those of you guys that message me, get well wishes and stuff like that. I actually wasn't feeling that well. It started out kind of like a headache behind my eye, and then that kind of evolved. And when you get one thing going, then everything else just likes to happen. So I took the necessary time away from just being in front of my computer. Obviously, the ring lights and all this other stuff that's like blasting in my face. So yeah, I feel much better now. So I definitely just wanted to tell you guys thank you for reaching out. But I have been keeping up, right? Like there's obviously new content coming, new characters in the game. There's so much going on right now. We have the producer video, which we'll talk about more on twitch.tv/Zoxaskun. But with that all being the case, man, we're in the grind, right? And like I've been in Nico Nana, like Inferno, just grinding that away, and it has been like absolute Hades there. And the funny thing is that when I was looking at these new characters coming and just trying to figure out, do I want to pull for these characters? I came to the conclusion that I think that this might be skip banners for me, and not because the units aren't good. This is more so a thing that I think that free to play are going to have to understand. And something I really want to get into in this video is that you need to make sure that when you're pulling at a point at which you're able to, one, have the opportunity to invest in those characters. And it's not just something you're adding to a long list of projects to do, right? So let's jump into my account, right? So right now, as you can see, I'm over here grinding. Like I'm literally grinding out on Nico Nana Inferno right now. And this game, like, it loves to hate me, I guess, because it will not give me the pieces I need or the set values I need. But it is what it is. It's the grind. But if we go over here to my Animus, what I was really trying to do, and I think one of the biggest things was I was trying to get to a place where each character I had that I'm like using for most general content, or each of the things that I'm currently clearing right now, they have their own pet, they have their own modules, things of that nature. Because I was kind of getting sick and tired of the swapping on and off. Like that was absolutely killing me. And not because like I hate that process, but just because personally I was forgetting to put stuff back on to people. So I was just like, nah, miss me with that. So I ended up just honestly taking this time to grind everything out. I currently have and again, not even necessarily the best of the best modules. I was just trying to make sure that every character had decent modules. And then from there, we can always work our way up or tweak things or evolve things, because that's the game, right? You're going to always be tweaking, evolving, and making things better. I think the problem is that a lot of times when you're kind of going through the process of doing things, you want characters to be at their most optimal. Or if you're trying to clear something, you have to put them on the best of what you have. So that kind of spills over into other pieces or to other, builds that you might have on another character. And now your builds are all mixed up, right? And then don't, forget it. If you start actually selling stuff, then yeah, GG, your whole entire layouts are messed up, right? So I finally reconfigured everything, recalibrated all these things. Now, outside of that, I had to look at the other component to what it is that I'm getting out of my characters, or what I am, utilizing to really further push my characters. And that's skilling up, right? So the last character I really was investing skill ups into was my Yelly, right? So I went 5-5, and currently I think I'm at 1 right now. Yeah. So 5-5 and 2. So I technically could push one more here. I have another perfect lattice right now, but that got me to thinking, if these new characters come out, then that means that I don't have any lattice readily accessible to me to be able to, to just be able to test things out or to try things out. And the thing is that, could I just spend the $50 or the X amount of dollars to just buy more lattice? Absolutely. Yeah. Right. But it's not going to be enough to remotely see all the extent or what really is the thing that you really want the most out of the character. So it's either you save or you just buy. Right. And even that is up to a certain extent. And so even for what it was worth, I had to take a second and just kind of step back. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. What do I need in order for me to be able to succeed on my account, right? And one of the biggest things that I felt just going back to other games that I played, it just kind of reminded me of the whole Molagora thing in E7, where Molagora was a pain. Before the change that they have now, where it's so seamless, Molagora itself, originally was such a pain. And the thing was a lot of the times what actually cooked a lot of players was that they were trying to build so many other characters, but they weren't finishing any characters, right? And some characters are literally almost basically required to be fully built or finished skill up wise in order for you to get the most value out of them. So when I was kind of looking at that, I was like, okay, let's take a second and let's slow down and let's go through what exactly we need to skill up and what we need to build. So that's what I did. I was looking at, okay, do I want to finish my Yeli? Yeah, I kind of do, right? So that's already one unit. Do I want to start putting skill ups into my Ling Lao? Yes, that's another unit, right? I need skill ups into her skill 1. Like that absolutely takes her to a whole nother level where you're starting to get more value out of the Well Prayer application, and just the duration of it is like, that's huge to a character like Ling Lao. So, okay, that's another 4, right? And then, I got other characters. So before you know it, now we're talking about, I already have like 13 projects, right? Because if we're talking about, we got to do Yeli, we got to do skill 1 on Ling Lao. We're still talking and considering some of my other SSRs that I want to do. Like I might want to throw some into Mia, Ho Yan is going to be necessary if I want to use her in my Terra Matan run. And I think I need to at least do her skill 4, or sorry, her skill 3, at least. So like that already is a ton of like stuff, right? That I'm already like, that's already on my account, that I'm already like, okay, I got to work on that. So me going and pulling for 2 more characters is only going to add more layers to that. And one of the things that I would say, or that I implore a lot of you guys that are free to play, is to try to identify what is it that you actually need on your account so much versus what you want as of right now, because I think that that's the biggest play. What's going to get you through majority of the content based off of what you need versus just simply what you want. I feel like the things that you want kind of come a little bit after the fact of you getting through some of the initial grind. But with all of that being said, that's like one of the biggest reasons for me. It was just kind of like, okay, I got to lattice these things and I got to still like get to the point of being able to utilize them even somewhat, I would even argue efficiently, because some characters just simply need that one skill, right? For you to even efficiently use them. That's what I was like kind of looking at. Now, the next dilemma, and this was something I was talking to the homie Cyan about, was purple lattice, right? Evolution lattice. That was something that I was like, ooh, you know what? That I do kind of need a lot of as well. And so those are not even including the projects that I'm already working on when you're talking about like the SSRs, but I still have SR projects that I'm working on, right? So I still need to do like characters. Excuse me, I still need the 6-star characters, like, for example, Valerian at some point. Definitely wanting to 6-star Yang at some point. My Kachi the Guard, I definitely want to take up, right? So that's already 3 SRs that I'm planning on building, plus their Evolution Lattice, which is, a whole nother grind. And again, like, this is just, again, me just kind of going through the process with you guys. And there's still characters I still haven't built yet, right? Like I still want to build my Hellkid. I still want to build Heinrich. I still want to build my Rahu. I got to rebuild my Leon, right? Like there's so much to still build. So adding more to it is just kind of like, right? And let me know if I'm tripping, right? I remember when at least I played E7, was that one of the things that a lot of players ran into with it as an issue was that they would have characters and they would just kind of sit, right? And then before you know it, you have 40 characters on your account that you literally can't build or you're not building. So you're not really getting like, and then like if you do have them, there's like the issue. Some people feel like they got to have spread everything onto everybody. And it's like, no, you want to kind of like try to isolate and efficiently build things as you go, as you need it. So that's what I've really been trying to work on, right? So that's like the main reason why I'm like kind of like, I'm not going to pull right now, because it's also that I don't feel like I need anything. I feel like I have everything on my account. I just need to actually build everything. And I feel like sometimes, not that these banners are traps, but I think the idea of pulling itself is a mental trap, because now that's another thing that will divert your attention or focus. And then let's say this isn't something that actually is required or really that necessary, or you really don't have the resources to really build this next thing or new thing you got on your account. Now you're kind of sort of pushing your account back further. And I'm not going to lie, I noticed that when players kind of get to that point, they kind of don't want to play as much because they're like, it's taking me even longer and I'm watching everybody else do X thing, right? So I would say for the most part, for me, which again, I have the ability to buy whatever I want, as much as I want, but I don't think it's necessary because I have to get other things done, right? So I would even say for right now, one of the biggest things is also like just making sure that I'm really, really, really hitting all the events as much as I can and staying on top of that versus me just trying to get the newest characters, because there's so many SRs I think that'll be able to fulfill a lot of the roles that you need. Now, if you're talking about PvP, then that's a whole nother thing. If you're playing more for that, then some of the decisions that you would make would be a little bit different. But I think, again, the biggest thing, and what even, shout out to homie True Evil, he talks about this a lot, is that he wished that he would have made certain decisions to facilitate his PvE better versus just straight going for PvP, because it made a lot of his stuff a lot slower. But he's slowly but surely working himself out of that, right? So it might just kind of change your progression loop, but that's just, food for thought. Now, outside of that, okay, the other thing that I'm like looking at right now is also the fact that we have another 2x event coming up. And with that 2x event, like realistically, could I make do with like pulling a new character? Yeah, I could. But again, I want that focus to be on what exactly I already have on my account. And the other thing is too, is I think another thing, and probably one of the like biggest points, is gearing, right? Like I think that for what it's worth is something that we've kind of identified. There's definitely not enough Etheria coin to go around. So the more units that you try to add to your accounts and the more gear that you're trying to like add to that pool of fine tuning, it just more and more and more, right? Like, and that I feel like if you're not really making progress on anything, it's just gonna feel like you're not really doing anything, right? So for the most part, where I've been like really spending most of my time has been in Inferno. I got a lot of catching up to do. Like I have to get back into further pushing my arena and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, I mean, for what it's worth, I think that to me was like one of the biggest things, was just like kind of looking at it for what it is. It's like, hey, I don't have the lattice to be able to build this stuff right now. And there's so many other projects that I have on my account. I got to focus on those things. Now, with the new content, I'm hoping that does kind of filter in and give us some more resources, because if we get more resources, or if there's more renewable resources added into the game, that would make things a lot more seamless in terms of being able to work on these things. And I feel like even just the average player would be able to get more into PvP the way that they want to. But yeah, that's like basically that, right? So we got a lot to get into, right? We got to obviously get into the new piece of content, stuff like that. But I just wanted to kind of take the moment to talk about that, because I feel like a lot of players are going to be looking at this like, oh, new banner, I have to pull for it. But I would honestly say, like, if you have a ton of projects already, focus on those projects, get those like squared away before you start aiming for new things on your account. But that's just my take, my opinion. Again, that's just how I want to play, and you're free to play however you want, right? But that's going to be that with this one, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope to see you guys later on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zoxaskun. You guys have a blessed day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.